In the early 12th century, a world steeped in turmoil and religious fervor found itself on the cusp of a grand chapter in history. The Crusades were already underway. Christian knights, driven by faith, marched toward the Holy Land with the goal of reclaiming Jerusalem from Muslim rule. It was a time of war, of violence, and of the clashing of ideologies. Yet in the midst of this chaos, a small, seemingly insignificant group of warriors would rise to prominence, becoming one of the most powerful and mysterious orders the world would ever know: the Knights Templar. The origins of the Templars were modest, even humble. A mere 9 knights, led by a French nobleman named Hugues de Payens, set out with a singular purpose: to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. These men were bound by oaths of loyalty to each other and to the Christian faith, with a singular focus: guarding those who risked their lives on the treacherous journey to the sacred city. At first, they were little more than a group of devoted soldiers, their task simple and noble. They were there to defend pilgrims from the dangers of the road, bandits, hostile forces, and the other threats that lurked in the unforgiving terrain. But even in these early days, there was something about their mission that felt more significant. Some historians suggest that their mission, though framed as a charitable cause, may have been a cover for something much deeper, a secret purpose that only a few within the order truly understood. What set the Templars apart from other military orders was their remarkable speed in rising to power. By the 1120s, the Templars had established a stronghold in Jerusalem, and their influence began to spread far beyond the confines of the Holy Land. They were granted the protection of the Church itself, their order recognized by Pope Honorius II in 1129. As they grew in number and in wealth, the Templars also acquired something far more valuable: land. Through donations from wealthy patrons, the order amassed estates across Europe. In return, they offered protection and security. The Templars had become not just warriors, but powerful figures in the political and religious landscape. The question that lingers, though, is this: how did they gain such influence so quickly? Was it merely because of their military prowess, or was there something else at play? Some suggest that the Templars' rise to power had more to do with the secrets they may have uncovered during their time in Jerusalem, secrets that have been lost to history, buried beneath the weight of centuries. As the Templars solidified their place in the world, their reputation grew, not just for their role in the Crusades but for their connection to something far greater. What they truly protected, no one could say for certain. Their growing wealth and influence invited the curiosity of kings and popes alike, but there were whispers of a hidden purpose, a hidden knowledge, that made the Templars more than just soldiers of Christ. The beginnings of their journey were marked by a quiet mystery, one that would continue to unfold as they gained even greater power. And in that mystery lay the foundation for an order whose true purpose would remain shrouded in secrecy for centuries to come. As the Templars rose to power, they quickly became entangled in a web of alliances, some official, others secret. The question that has lingered for centuries is this: who were these men truly aligned with? While their connection to the Church was made official early on, there is evidence to suggest that the Templars may have had deeper ties to secret societies and ancient orders, some of which have remained hidden from history. There are whispers that the Templars' origins may have been influenced by older, mystical traditions, long lost to time. Some historians have suggested that the Templars' connection to the Knights Hospitaller, another order founded during the Crusades, was more than just a partnership. It was a merging of philosophies. Others point to their association with the powerful Christian secret societies that flourished during the Crusades, societies that guarded knowledge of sacred texts and rituals that had been passed down through the ages. But the most intriguing theory involves the possibility that the Templars were connected to even older, non-Christian traditions, an idea that has captured the imaginations of many. Some suggest that their time in Jerusalem and their involvement with the Temple of Solomon led them to uncover lost knowledge, knowledge that could trace its roots back to the ancient world. What did they discover beneath the temple's ruins? Was there a secret society already in place when they arrived, waiting for them to find it? What if their true allegiance was not solely to the church, but to a hidden order that had existed long before Christianity? This web of allegiances, shrouded in mystery, raises more questions than it answers. The true connections the Templars formed, connections lost to history, remain a mystery, leaving us with only speculation. Could they have been part of something far older, far more secretive than we realize? Among the many things that set the Knights Templar apart from other military orders was their use of powerful symbols, symbols that, to this day, continue to fascinate and mystify. One of the most famous and recognizable is the Templar cross, a bold red symbol emblazoned on their cloaks and banners, representing their devotion to Christ and their role as protectors of the faith. But as we peer deeper into the symbolism, we begin to see something more. These symbols were not mere decorations. They were keys, perhaps to a deeper, hidden knowledge. Many researchers have speculated that the Templars' symbols carried esoteric meanings, possibly related to ancient mysteries and forgotten wisdom. The cross itself, while ostensibly a Christian symbol, may have held additional layers of meaning. Some claim it was a representation of the balance between the material and spiritual worlds, a concept deeply rooted in mystical traditions. Others suggest that the Templars' cross was a secret marker, a symbol that held the key to lost treasures or sacred knowledge that they sought to protect. But the Templars' symbols weren't limited to just the cross. Their seals, coats of arms, and other insignia were filled with meaning, suggesting that they were more than just soldiers of Christ. Their shields depicted animals, geometric patterns, and motifs that some believe were linked to ancient spiritual systems, like the Pythagorean teachings, or even the mysteries of Egypt. Could these symbols have been used to communicate with fellow members of secret societies, or to guide them to hidden treasures or locations of power? These symbols may have appeared simple to the untrained eye, but to those initiated into the Templar order, they were a complex system of messages and codes, each one carrying a deeper meaning. What secrets could these symbols unlock? What knowledge did they conceal, knowledge that the Templars took with them to their graves? There was something uniquely mysterious about the Knights Templar, something beyond their role as soldiers of the faith. As the order expanded, it became clear that the Templars were not just a military force. They were a brotherhood bound by secrecy, trust, and a commitment to something far greater than mere conquest. And within this brotherhood, some believed lay access to a treasure far more valuable than gold or jewels. They held, or so the rumors suggest, forbidden knowledge, knowledge hidden from the world and passed down through the ages. What kind of knowledge could this be? Some have speculated that it was knowledge of the ancient mysteries, secrets passed down from the dawn of civilization. Perhaps it was wisdom related to sacred texts, lost scrolls, or relics that were hidden deep within the ruins of the Holy Land. The Templars had access to the most sacred places in Jerusalem, and during their time in the Holy Land, they were entrusted with the care of ancient artifacts and sacred sites. Could they have discovered something so powerful, so transformative, that it became their mission to protect it at all costs? The Templars were known for their deep involvement with the Church and their sacred duties, but they were also known for their involvement in other, more esoteric pursuits. It is said that they studied alchemy, astrology, and other mystical sciences. These pursuits were not just intellectual interests. They were part of the Templars' secret doctrine, a doctrine that was passed down only to the highest-ranking members of the order. Was this hidden knowledge the key to their success? Was it the real reason they became so powerful, so influential? The more we look into the Templars' mysterious nature, the more it becomes clear. They were not simply warriors, but protectors of something far more profound, a secret knowledge, lost to the ages, that may have had the power to change the course of history. As the Templars made their way into the heart of the Holy Land, their influence grew rapidly, not just through their military victories, but through their remarkable control of key locations and their increasing wealth. They weren't just soldiers, they were landowners, financiers, and strategists. Their stronghold in Jerusalem became a symbol of their power, a fortress of protection for Christian pilgrims and a center of Templar influence in the region. But the question that lingers is, how did they manage to gain such influence so quickly? Some say it was their military prowess, their ability to protect and defend, that earned them the trust of kings and popes. Others suggest there was something more at play. Some historians believe the Templars were able to build such power because they had discovered something that gave them an edge over others, something hidden within the ancient walls of Jerusalem itself. While their main purpose was to protect Christian pilgrims, the Templars were also deeply involved in the political and economic affairs of the region. They were key players in the ongoing Crusades, and their role in the Holy Land allowed them to amass wealth and power in ways that few others could match. They were known to be extremely wealthy, and some believe that this wealth came not only from donations but from a deeper source, possibly the treasure they had uncovered in Jerusalem. As they grew in wealth and influence, so too did the rumors surrounding them. What had they found in Jerusalem? What did they know that made them so powerful? These questions continue to fuel the mystery of the Templars and their legacy. The Temple of Solomon, a structure of legend and mystery, looms large in the history of the Knights Templar. To the outside world, the Templars were known for their role as protectors of pilgrims, but for those within the order, there was another, deeper purpose, a purpose that may have been connected to the very heart of Jerusalem itself. It is said that the Templars spent considerable time in the Temple Mount, an area that held great religious significance, but also a place steeped in ancient secrets. The Temple of Solomon, long before the Crusaders arrived, had been destroyed, rebuilt, and altered countless times. Yet, it remained a powerful symbol of divine connection. To the Templars, the temple was not just a place of worship, it was a place of power. The order's connection to this sacred site was no accident. The temple had long been associated with hidden knowledge and mystical rituals, and it's widely believed that the Templars, through their time in Jerusalem, had access to ancient secrets buried within its ruins. For years, rumors swirled that the Templars had uncovered something within the temple's depths, something so significant that it became the heart of their mission. Some say they found sacred texts, hidden scrolls that contained forgotten wisdom from the ancient world. Others claim the Templars stumbled upon relics of immense power, perhaps the Ark of the Covenant itself, hidden away from the prying eyes of history. The truth of what the Templars uncovered remains a mystery, buried beneath the sands of time. But it is this very mystery that has fueled speculation for centuries. What could the Templars have discovered in the Temple of Solomon? Was it a treasure of unimaginable wealth or a secret knowledge that could alter the course of history? The temple's connection to the Templars remains one of the most enduring mysteries, one that, for now, only adds to the enigma of their true purpose. One of the most captivating legends surrounding the Knights Templar is the tale of their hidden treasure, a vast fortune, said to have been amassed during their time in the Holy Land. The Templars were known not only for their military prowess, but also for their financial acumen. They quickly became one of the wealthiest and most influential organizations in medieval Europe. But what did they do with all this wealth? While many believe the Templars' wealth came from donations and land holdings, there is a darker, more tantalizing theory that they hid it away somewhere before their downfall. Rumors abound that the Templars, as they felt the noose tightening around them in the years leading to their arrest, decided to hide their vast fortune from the grasp of their enemies. The treasure, so the story goes, was hidden in secret locations, protected by codes, symbols, and a network of loyal followers. Some claim the treasure is hidden beneath the streets of Paris, buried in the vaults of the Templar commanderies. Others speculate that it might have been moved to far-flung places, like the island of Oak Island in Canada, where treasure hunters have long searched in vain. The idea of the Templar treasure hunt has captivated the imaginations of many. From historians to treasure hunters, what could this treasure contain? Was it merely gold and jewels, or could it have been something more valuable, knowledge, ancient manuscripts, or sacred relics? The question of what the Templars took with them when they fled their downfall has haunted those who seek to uncover the truth. What was worth protecting so fiercely? What could they have hidden that remains undiscovered to this day? Perhaps, like so many Templar secrets, the treasure remains elusive, slipping through the cracks of history, leaving behind only fragments of a story that continues to fascinate. Secrecy was the cornerstone of the Knights Templar. From the very beginning, the Order's code was clear: silence. This vow of silence, not just in speech but in action, became central to their identity, and it was what made the Templars so unique and so enigmatic. In a world where religious orders and knights were expected to be open about their missions, the Templars operated in the shadows. Their silence wasn't merely a personal choice, but a protection, shielding their secrets from the prying eyes of the world. The Templars were known for their discipline and their dedication to a higher calling, but their code of silence went beyond simple military obedience. It was a means of guarding something much greater, something so precious that to reveal it would bring untold consequences. What was it they were protecting? Some believe it was the knowledge they had uncovered in Jerusalem, an ancient truth that had been passed down through the ages, and which the Templars had sworn to protect at all costs. This vow of silence extended to their relationships with outsiders. The Templars were known to speak little of their true mission, and much of what we know about them comes not from their own records, but from those who sought to understand them. Their secrecy made them the subject of intrigue and suspicion. What were they hiding? What knowledge or treasure was so sacred that it required an oath of silence? As their power grew, the Templars' silence became more than just a tool for protecting secrets. It became part of their mystique. It fueled the growing legend of the Order, turning them into a symbol of hidden knowledge, forbidden mysteries, and untold riches. The silence was their shield, and the world outside could only wonder. What were the Templars truly guarding? As quickly as the Templars rose to prominence, their fall was swift and catastrophic. What had once been a powerful order, supported by the Church and revered by kings, crumbled under the weight of betrayal and greed. The Templars' fall began in 1307, when King Philip IV of France, deeply in debt to the order, turned against them. The king, eager to seize the Templars' wealth, accused them of heresy, blasphemy, and various other charges, setting the stage for one of the most dramatic trials in history. The accusations, it seemed, were fabricated. The Templars were arrested and tortured, forced to confess to crimes they likely did not commit. Their wealth, their lands, their influence, all of it was stripped away in the blink of an eye. The once proud order, with its vast network of wealth and power, was reduced to nothing more than a memory. And yet the question remains: why? Why did King Philip launch such an attack on the Templars? Was it purely financial, or was there something deeper at play? Some suggest that the Templars had become too powerful, too influential, and that their wealth and influence threatened the status quo. Others believe that the accusations were a convenient excuse to destroy an order that had long been shrouded in mystery and secrecy. Whatever the reason, the Templars' fall from grace marked the beginning of their disappearance from history, at least officially. The Knights were persecuted, their leaders executed, and their legacy buried in the ashes of the past. Yet even in their fall, the Templars' mystery remained, with countless theories about what they took to the grave and why their order was destroyed. As the fires of their destruction burned hot, the Templars seemed to vanish into thin air, leaving behind nothing but whispers and legends. Jacques de Molay, the last Grandmaster, was burned at the stake, cursing those who had wronged him. Yet even as he died, the mystery of the Templars only deepened. What happened to the vast wealth and knowledge that they had guarded for so long? Where did it go, and why has it remained hidden for centuries? Over the years, many have speculated about the Templars' disappearance. Some believe that the Order's leaders, knowing the end was near, managed to flee to distant lands, taking their treasures and secrets with them. Others suggest that the Templars' legacy lived on in secret societies, such as the Freemasons, who inherited their symbols and ideas. Could it be that the Templars never truly vanished, but instead went underground, continuing their work in secret, guarding knowledge that was too dangerous for the public? One of the most tantalizing theories is that the Templars' treasure still exists, hidden in a secret location, waiting to be discovered. The hunt for the Templar treasure continues to this day, with treasure hunters combing through old ruins, cryptic clues, and ancient maps in search of something that may or may not exist. The idea that there is a hidden fortune out there, a remnant of the Templar order, keeps the mystery alive, encouraging countless people to search for what may very well be the greatest treasure hunt in history. But perhaps the most intriguing possibility is that the Templars didn't vanish at all. Perhaps they simply became something else, an invisible force, still present, still guarding the secrets they vowed to protect. The question remains, what is the true fate of the Templars? Did they simply disappear, or is the enigma of their existence one that continues to shape the world to this day? The answers remain elusive, buried deep in the sands of history, and maybe, just maybe, the Templars will never fully fade from view. By the early 14th century, the Knights Templar had become an order of unmatched influence and power, but it was also becoming clear that their very existence was under threat. The last Grandmaster of the Templars, Jacques de Molay, would become the face of their tragic downfall, a man whose fate would become inextricably linked to the order's destruction. Jacques de Molay was a man of great stature, both physically and metaphorically, a leader who commanded respect and loyalty from his fellow Templars. Appointed Grand Master in 1292, he led the order during its final years, at a time when the Templars were at the height of their wealth and influence. His leadership had steered the order through turbulent times, with the Crusades still in full swing and the Templars' growing role in European politics and finance. But despite the outward appearances of strength, there were dark forces at play that threatened the very foundation of the order. At the time, King Philip IV of France, deeply indebted to the Templars, was facing mounting financial difficulties. Desperate for a solution, the king turned his eyes toward the wealth of the Templar order. With his position shaky and unable to satisfy his own ambitions, King Philip saw an opportunity to eliminate a potential rival and seize their vast fortune. The Templars, once allies of the monarchy, became targets of a well-orchestrated campaign of betrayal. In 1307, Philip had Jacques de Molay and the entire Templar order arrested under charges of heresy, blasphemy, and corruption. For de Molay, this marked the beginning of a harrowing ordeal. His arrest was just the beginning of the end for the Templars, but it was also the beginning of a dark, personal journey for the Grand Master, who would be forced to endure unspeakable torture and humiliation in the dungeons of France. Though many of his fellow Templars were captured and tortured, de Molay's strength of character and unwavering loyalty to his order remained intact. The accusations leveled against him were not easily substantiated, and he denied the charges of heresy. He maintained that the Templars had been wrongly accused, that their oath was one of pure dedication to the faith. His refusal to confess under duress painted him as a martyr, and his integrity only added to the growing legend surrounding his name. His steadfastness under torture, coupled with his undeniable charisma, made him a symbol of resistance against the injustices he and his brothers had suffered. But as the Templars' fate hung in the balance, de Molay's own personal journey was far from over. His capture was just the beginning of a series of trials that would ultimately lead to his tragic execution. As he faced trial after trial, he held fast to his convictions, even as the flames of betrayal consumed both the Templar order and himself. His story, one of honor, tragedy, and sacrifice, would become the final chapter in the rise and fall of the Knights Templar. The charges levied against the Knights Templar were as sensational as they were fabricated. As Jacques de Molay and his fellow knights faced arrest, King Philip IV, who had long been scheming to seize the Templars' wealth, began his ruthless campaign. The accusations were damning, designed not only to destroy the order's reputation, but to ensure their complete annihilation. Among the most severe charges were heresy, blasphemy, idol worship, and the claim that the Templars engaged in secret rituals that defiled Christianity itself. The idea of secret rituals among the Templars had been an ever-present rumor, particularly involving the so-called Baphomet, a mysterious idol supposedly worshipped by the order. This strange idol, described by some as a head with multiple faces, was believed by many to symbolize the occult practices of the Templars. The accusation was designed to stir fear and suspicion, and it worked. Public sentiment turned swiftly against the once revered order. However, many of these accusations were likely fabricated or grossly exaggerated. After all, the Templars had long been known for their strict adherence to the Christian faith. They had been defenders of the Church, not heretics. But under extreme torture, many Templars, like their Grandmaster, Jacques de Molay, were forced to confess to crimes they may not have committed. The confessions came not from genuine admission but from pain and coercion, the product of brutal interrogation tactics. Was it possible that the Templars were framed? Were these accusations merely a pretext for seizing their wealth and power? The more we examine the charges, the more it becomes clear that there may have been another, darker motive at work. And perhaps, behind the veil of these accusations, a much deeper conspiracy was unfolding, one that would go on to shape the future of the Templars and their place in history. The trials of the Templars were not mere courtroom spectacles. They were brutal, harrowing ordeals. As Jacques de Molay and his fellow knights were dragged from their cells and brought before the Inquisition, they faced unimaginable cruelty. Torture became a tool of confession, an instrument of both physical and psychological destruction. The purpose was clear: to break the knights, to force them to admit to the damning charges laid before them, no matter the cost. The methods used to extract confessions from the Templars were chilling, even by medieval standards. They were subjected to physical pain, chains, whips, the stretching of limbs, and the threat of death, while being accused of the most heinous acts imaginable. Those who had taken sacred oaths of silence were pushed to the breaking point, stripped of their dignity and forced to betray their vows. Under these horrific conditions, many Templars gave in to the pressure. They admitted to worshipping the so-called Baphomet, partaking in occult rites, and committing blasphemous acts. But given the circumstances, it's impossible to know whether these confessions were genuine or merely the result of physical and emotional torment. The truth was distorted in the smoke and fire of torture. For Jacques de Molay, the torture came close to breaking his spirit, but he remained resolute. Unlike some of his brethren, de Molay did not yield to the confessions demanded of him. He continued to deny the charges, maintaining the integrity of the Templar order even in the face of unimaginable pain. His refusal to confess under duress made him a martyr in the eyes of many and further cemented his place in history as the last bastion of the Templars' honor. But as his ordeal continued, the walls of the Inquisition grew tighter, and the fate of the Templars became increasingly uncertain. The fall of the Knights Templar was not the result of a single man's ambition, but rather the culmination of a conspiracy that stretched far beyond the court of King Philip IV. While it is true that Philip had personal reasons for destroying the Templars, chief among them his insurmountable debt to the order, it was the broader political context of the time that set the stage for their fall. Philip's greed was matched only by his desire for power, and the Templars stood in his way. With their wealth, land holdings, and influence, the order had become a threat not just to his purse, but to his authority. And so, the king began to devise a scheme to discredit the Templars, to destroy their reputation, and to seize their treasure. This was no ordinary act of vengeance. It was a carefully calculated political maneuver designed to reshape the balance of power in medieval Europe. But was King Philip acting alone? The timing of the Templars' downfall suggests that there were other forces at play. The Church, led by Pope Clement V, was complicit in the downfall of the Templars, either due to political pressure from Philip or because of its own vested interest in controlling the Templar wealth. The involvement of the papacy, combined with Philip's personal ambition, hints at a grander conspiracy, one that sought not only to destroy the Templars, but also to reshape the very foundations of Christian power in Europe. Was the fall of the Templars an act of betrayal orchestrated by those at the very top of the church and monarchy? Was there a deeper, hidden agenda at work, one that would erase the Templars from history and leave only their secrets behind? The more we dig into the history, the clearer it becomes that the Templars' fall was not just a matter of misfortune. It was a calculated move, part of a larger conspiracy whose true motivations remain obscured. The day Jacques de Molay was burned at the stake remains one of the most poignant and tragic moments in the history of the Templars. After years of torture, imprisonment, and public humiliation, the Grandmaster was finally condemned to die. On March 18, 1314, in front of a crowd gathered at the Seine River in Paris, de Molay met his end. The execution was brutal, a public spectacle designed to serve as a warning to anyone who might consider defying the king. But for many, the burning of Jacques de Molay marked more than the physical destruction of a man. It symbolized the fall of an order that had once stood for honor, secrecy, and loyalty to a higher calling. As the flames consumed him, de Molay is said to have cursed King Philip IV and Pope Clement V, vowing that they would soon face divine retribution for their betrayal. The tragedy of de Molay's death was compounded by the knowledge that the Templars had never truly been given a fair trial. Their confessions had been extracted under torture, and the charges leveled against them were, in many cases, unfounded. In the flames of his execution, de Molay's final act became a symbol of defiance and resistance. His death, though tragic, only deepened the mystery surrounding the Templar order. For those who believed in the Templars' sacred mission, the burning of Jacques de Molay marked the true end of the order. But for others, it was the beginning of a new chapter in their story, a chapter filled with unanswered questions, hidden knowledge, and the enduring legacy of a group that refused to go quietly into history. Long after the fall of the Templars, their legend lived on, fueled by the mysteries that surrounded them. The most enduring and tantalizing question is, what did the Templars really hide? Theories abound, suggesting that the order was in possession of ancient treasures, sacred relics, or lost knowledge so profound that it was worth protecting with their lives. But what was it that they kept so fiercely guarded, something so valuable that even death would not pry it from their grasp? The most famous and persistent legend involves the lost treasure of the Templars. Some say it was gold, jewels, and priceless artifacts accumulated over years of conquests, battles, and donations. Others believe that the treasure had a more abstract nature, that it was knowledge, religious relics, or even the legendary Ark of the Covenant. The idea that the Templars uncovered the Ark during their time in Jerusalem is one of the most captivating theories, with its supposed power to change the course of history. Another possibility is the hidden knowledge of sacred texts, ancient manuscripts, or esoteric wisdom that had been passed down through the ages. Did the Templars uncover long-lost scrolls that contained hidden truths about the origins of Christianity, secret teachings of the ancients, or even knowledge of extraterrestrial life? The Templars were well versed in the mystic arts, alchemy, and arcane knowledge, and many believe they carried with them secrets far beyond the understanding of their time. But where did all this treasure go? Was it hidden away in secret locations, protected by codes, maps, and symbols? Or did it vanish into the ether, lost to history as the Templars were wiped out? The search for the Templar treasure continues to this day, with adventurers and historians alike hopping to unlock the secrets that the order took with them to the grave. The truth remains elusive, and the legend only grows stronger, with each passing year adding more layers to the mystery of what the Templars really hid. Despite the destruction of the Knights Templar in the early 14th century, their legacy did not simply disappear. In fact, the Templars in some form seem to have survived through the ages, woven into the fabric of modern history, often in ways that many are unaware of. Their symbols, their ideas, and even their secretive practices found new life within other organizations, ensuring that the Templars' influence would never fully vanish. One of the most notable legacies of the Templars is their connection to Freemasonry. Many scholars and historians have drawn parallels between the rituals and symbols of Freemasonry and those of the Templars, suggesting that the Freemasons inherited much of their teachings and practices from the fallen order. The Templar cross, the all-seeing eye, and other symbols are deeply embedded in Masonic traditions, and it is believed that the Masons may have served as spiritual descendants of the Templars, protectors of the same hidden knowledge that the Knights once guarded. There are also claims that certain Templar Knights escaped the purge of the order, fleeing to faraway lands to continue their work in secret. Some suggest that they went underground, forming clandestine societies that would eventually influence the shaping of Western civilization. Whether in the form of hidden treasures, sacred knowledge, or the continuation of their teachings, the Templars' legacy persisted, evolving and adapting to the changing tides of history. The influence of the Templars can also be seen in the rise of secret societies and the fascination with esoteric knowledge. From the Rosicrucians to the Illuminati, many have sought to uncover the lost wisdom that the Templars were thought to possess. Could the Templars have been the forerunners of these societies? Did they pass down their knowledge through these secretive channels, continuing their mission long after the official end of their order? While the Templars themselves may have vanished, their influence continues to shape the world in subtle, yet powerful, ways, ensuring that their legacy is far from forgotten. The shadow of the Knights Templar extends far beyond the medieval era, influencing not only the secret societies of the past, but also shaping modern cultures and institutions. The symbols and rituals that the Templars used, now almost universally recognized, continue to permeate the world today. From Freemasonry to contemporary conspiracy theories, the Templars' impact is undeniable. One of the most direct influences is their connection to Freemasonry, the secretive society that has long fascinated historians, conspiracy theorists, and the curious alike. Freemasons often use Templar symbols in their rituals and beliefs, such as the iconic Templar cross and the practice of using symbols to convey hidden messages. The Freemasons, who trace their origins back to the medieval guilds of stonemasons, are thought to have inherited many of the Templars' beliefs, including their reverence for secret knowledge and the protection of hidden wisdom. The Freemasons' role in shaping the foundations of the United States, as well as their influence in European politics, suggests that the Templars' ideals of secrecy and protection of sacred knowledge found a home in the modern world. Beyond Freemasonry, Templar symbols have appeared in countless places, from national emblems to corporate logos, often carrying with them a sense of mysticism or power. The use of the Templar cross in particular has endured through centuries, appearing on flags, seals, and monuments, serving as a reminder of the Knights' enduring legacy. In the world of art, literature, and film, the Templars have been portrayed as keepers of hidden treasures and ancient secrets, perpetuating the aura of mystery that surrounds them. In modern times, the fascination with the Templars continues to grow. Their influence can be found in the works of authors, filmmakers, and conspiracy theorists, all of whom are drawn to the idea of an ancient order that wielded power and knowledge far beyond its time. The Knights Templar may no longer exist as a formal order, but their presence in the collective imagination remains strong, as their legacy continues to inspire both reverence and curiosity. The legend of the Templar treasure is one of the most enduring and tantalizing mysteries in history. Even today, adventurers, treasure hunters, and historians search for clues, hoping to uncover the vast riches that the Templars are said to have hidden away before their downfall. The rumors of treasure hidden in secret locations across Europe and beyond have fueled countless expeditions and theories, But the question remains, did the Templars really leave behind a fortune, or is the treasure just an alluring myth? One of the most famous locations linked to the Templar treasure is the island of Oak Island, located off the coast of Nova Scotia in Canada. For centuries, treasure hunters have speculated that the island may hold the key to the Templar treasure. Some believe that the Templars, fleeing from their persecution in Europe, sailed across the Atlantic and hid their treasure on this remote island, protecting it with intricate traps and puzzles designed to keep it hidden for centuries. The ongoing search for the Oak Island treasure has captured the public's imagination, with many convinced that the Templars' legendary wealth lies just beneath the surface. Other theories suggest that the treasure was hidden in places much closer to the Templars' heartlands in Europe. Some claim that the treasure was concealed in the crypts of Templar castles in France or in the remote, underground vaults of their commanderies. There are even suggestions that the treasure might be buried beneath the streets of Paris or in the vaults of the Vatican itself. With so many locations rumored to hold the treasure, the hunt for it has become as much about uncovering the secrets of the Templars as it is about discovering a literal fortune. But what exactly did the Templars take with them? Was it just gold and jewels, or was there something far more valuable, ancient manuscripts, relics of religious significance, or knowledge that could change the course of history? The treasure hunt continues, but the Templars' wealth and secrets remain locked away, hidden in plain sight. Even after centuries of speculation, the mystery of the Knights Templar endures. Their disappearance, their secrets, and the fate of their wealth and knowledge continue to captivate historians, conspiracy theorists, and curious minds alike. The Templars may have been officially dissolved, their leaders executed, and their order scattered to the winds, but the enigma they left behind has only grown with time. What was it about the Templars that made them so powerful? Was it their military might, their wealth, or the hidden knowledge they were thought to possess? Were they protectors of sacred relics, guardians of ancient wisdom, or something else entirely? The questions surrounding their legacy are not easily answered, and each answer seems to give birth to more questions. The legend of the Templars has taken on a life of its own, evolving over time, shaped by centuries of myth-making, hidden agendas, and the human fascination with secrecy and power. From the cryptic symbols they left behind to the secret societies they may have influenced, the Templars have become more than just a historical order. They have become a symbol of the unknown, a beacon for those who seek to uncover the hidden truths of the past. The search for their treasure, their lost knowledge, and the secrets they guarded continues. The Knights Templar may have vanished from the annals of history, but their legacy endures in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. As long as there are mysteries left to solve, the Templars will remain a part of the world's collective imagination, ever present in the stories we tell and the secrets we seek to uncover. Perhaps, just perhaps, the greatest mystery of all is not what the Templars hid, but why their story continues to fascinate us so deeply.